So how is projectized organization structured? In projectized organization, organizations will focus on tasks and complete them to create programs or portfolios, and those portfolios are then used to complete projects. So these portfolios are taken and then used in the projects for their completion. It differs because there's a project manager who's on the top level, who everyone reports to, has full authority for decision making and everything. Everything goes to him or her. It's not delegated across multiple leaders across the organization. Everyone reports to this entity. Often, all members are co-located during the duration of the project, meaning you might all be located on the same floor or in the same building, or you might have to drag people from another city or something. Everyone should be close together for the best performance. And projectized organization is the opposite of functional organization, because in functional organization, leadership is delegated across multiple departments. As a worker, you might have multiple people you report to depending on what you're working on or what it's about. However, in projectized organization, you're reporting to just this single person at the top. The project manager is responsible for all decision making, but they're also responsible for assigning tasks to individuals, tasks to teams, managing funds, and managing the resources of the project. A projectized organization relies on external domains. It pulls resources and divisions from those to create its own domain for the time length of this project. And often this is taken from like human resources, accounting, administration services. All the activities that these domains that it pulled from exist to serve project management for the time length of the project. Then at the end of a projectized organization project, all teams and resources are dismantled. If you were working part-time, you're out of a job then. However, if you're full-time, you're most likely being funneled into another project that needs you to fit that domain. Projectized organizations don't stay together after a project is done. It's dismantled, and that also differs it from something such as a structured organization.
So, for some examples of projectized organization, it's found frequently in politics. There's many organizations that or projects that have one person controlling them. One example is a task force. They have a leader coordinating and making all the decisions within the organization. Um, in Guatemala, there's an organization fighting drug violence that's led by Carlos Menico, and which is an example of projectized organization because he's at the head of the project and he's controlling everything that goes on. So there are several upsides to projectized organization. The first upside is that team members can report directly to the project manager, and this allows for quick decisions because they don't have to go to the group and have everyone debate and argue on what decision they should make. They can just get a quick decision by the project manager. There's also shorter and fewer lines of communication, and of course we learned in Brooks' book that a lot of lines of communication can make the project more complex and add a lot of work to it. So that's definitely an upside, that there's less lines of communication. And there can also be a quicker response to stakeholder concerns. And these upsides compared to functional organization because the project manager can control the timeline of the project, whereas in a group it's a little uncertain where the timeline is. There's also several more upsides to projectized organization. The first one being that group members can use their experience from previous projects to help do things in the current projects. A lot of lessons they learned or cool ways they found to do things. They can apply all that experience to the current project, and because of its experience, they're also more versatile and flexible. And um, Projectized organization also encourages instantaneous cooperation, sound communication, and milestones. And there's also more transparency and clarity within communication, since there's no middleman interpreting messages to other people. It's mainly just one channel of communication, and things are less likely to get uh, misinterpreted, and so there's more transparency there.
So some of the downsides to projectized organization is project managers need to have the right balance of power. Too little, too much, and they can lose respect or productivity. The project manager might not always be an expert or not very knowledgeable in the field, and that causes them to lose half the battle because a good leader has good leadership skills and is knowledgeable in the product area. The organization, if it has multiple projects, there can be poor communication and resources can be duplicated. You have to remember that Projectized organization is focused on completing one project, and that's the whole point of that domain. There's also insecurity among team members because once it's completed, they might lose their jobs as for part-time or contracted people. It can also be costly for the company to continuously hire people all the time for short periods of time. It all adds up.
Effectiveness of projectized organization. As an example, the Arizona Construction Company is a projectized organization. The majority of their resources are allocated against delivering projects for external customers. Although they do have a few back office workers who process the time cards, issue payroll, etc., each foreman is a project manager and has authority over the project resources assigned to him or her. This example illustrates how the projectized organization is structured to deliver on projects for external customers. This technique is recommended for use when there is definite goal established that will have an end date. Possible examples are IT infrastructure upgrade scenarios, real estate remodeling scenarios, asbestos remediation scenarios, any work that will not be ongoing with no end.